Alright, what's up, gamers? Today we're going to be talking with SethPRG, the owner of Omega. Seth,
Ooh.
it's great to have you on here.
Well, I'm
Not
happy
really.
to be
Okay,
here. Wow. Okay. I'm just gonna go now.
okay.
All right.
No. Listen, we need you here, okay? We
Okay.
need the juicy deets on Omega, you know? We need the good stuff. So I heard that it's going to be in 1.14. Is this true?
Yes, and we thought about it a lot. After the I don't know. I'll just call it the big drama. That's what we'll refer to it as from now on, where people were like, "Oh, but you gotta do 1.8," and then like staff members left because they didn't like that we were doing 1.14. And so we thought about it and we talked about it, and we've actually come up to a pretty nice solution. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have the main server, which is like all of our main game modes and stuff. It's gonna be on 1.14, and then we're gonna have back-end servers, which means you can still play some of these things in 1.8, but there will be an additional 1.14 version with more features. Now, for example, the open world, that's only going to be 1.14, and that's not too big of a deal. And then you're going to have Omega Tower, which is going to be, we really haven't decided, but like, one of the main problems we found when people make boxes is people will make things that are only possible Z-facing, and the boxes also rotate, and they have to be done like X and Z facing.
Yikes.
Be both possible. And so we thought, okay, 1.14, both the facings are the same. So that might be good to do for Omega Tower. We're not too sure about that. Then events, we will have two separate event servers. So one that's 1.8 through like 1.12, and then one that's 1.13 through 1.14. And then the original challenge courses, there will be 1.8. Probably there'll only be 1.8, and there might be a 1.14 version. I'm not completely sure on that. So you'll pretty much just be able to join in mostly what version you want, except for the main game modes. And I think that's a pretty nice decision.
That's pretty freaking good, dude. Like 1.8, the community was like backlashing. You're just like, all right, take the criticism. You know.
Yeah, we were like, hey, hold this L. It's our decision. But like, the only reason we were like talking about that is because like one of the people who left, AU God, he started talking that we were, because we told him, hey, we're probably gonna move to 1.14, and he said, you know, screw this, I'm leaving. And then in the public Discord, he said, hey, you're doing 1.14, this server's dead. And then, you know, I mean, I probably should have just banned him for leaking that private information. But like,
spreading rumors.
Yeah, but the damage was already done. So I mean, what do we have to do? We have had maybe 30 seconds to respond to like 10 people saying, is it really going to be 1.14? And we had to come to a decision. So I was just like, yeah, Shadow, let's just say we're going for 1.14. And because that's obviously, like, looking at the code side of things, like a lot of people, they only understand it from the gameplay perspective, and they're used to 1.8. But if you look at it from, like, for example, Shadow's perspective, 1.14 has a lot more useful features and whatnot that he can use to code the server and other various things. But one of the main problems that we've come across, which has also led us to not completely do 1.14, is there are a ton of bugs and problems on the Mojang side and Spigot side with 1.14 that have literally inhibited us from even transferring our build server over there for the past 2 weeks, and it's been really, really annoying because there are chunk loading errors. So like, if you load too many chunks too quickly, the server will just crash. So you can't load more than like, if you fly at speed 1 too fast, it can crash the server, and it's ridiculous. And then we have to transfer all of our maps from 1.8 to 1.14, which also takes an insane amount of time using a converter. And it takes up a lot of time. We have to convert the code, but it's like, if we don't do it, then what will happen when 1.15 releases? And then PvP pretty much just moves to 1.15, assuming that it does, which it probably will. And what will happen to 1.8? We'll be stuck on 1.8, and we'll have so much content that it will take us months to recode everything on 1.15, and we want to move on and get players. And by the time we finish recoding it, we will have already died. So
yeah,
we just decided to go
1.14 is definitely the more player friendly for new players. It's just all the OGs are just like fuming mad that it's going to be X facing, because it changes half of all jumps. Like cross Neos, double cross Neos are like insanely hard or not possible.
It's horrible now. because of just Mojang. And of course, like, the parkour community is small, and Mojang's not going to be like, oh, we're going to cater to this community. I mean, look at the freaking PvP community. It's taken them how many versions? Like, almost, like, 1.14.3 to even slightly change combat. And you know how big the PvP community is? That's like, what? At least a third, or maybe even a half of the entire Minecraft player base who does PvP. And they don't listen to that because all they want is, Microsoft has their money grabbing hands, and they just want to sell coins on the various console editions of Minecraft and scam children for money. Because how else are they going to make their $2 billion back? So why should they care? And, like, here's a funny fact. Shadow was like, they changed so many protocols in each version, it's almost as if Mojang is trying to discourage people from changing their plugins to newer versions. Because Mojang probably, in doing this, wants to inhibit people from updating their server as fast. And they want you to buy their realms and other things instead of servers, because they don't make any money off these servers.
That's actually a pretty good point. All the servers, you pay a lot of money for them.
Yeah.
Garbage.
It's actually kind of funny, because you'd think a lot of people would be on 1.14, but Mojang kind of screwed themselves with this chunk thing and whatnot. So there's a good diagram or whatnot.
I mean, are these like documented bugs, or are they just like?
Yeah, they're huge documented bugs that are like all throughout Spigot 1.14 and Mojang, and they're trying to like find this stuff out. And take a look at this. That shows the approximate statistics of what versions people play on. So 1.8.8, 27.5% of the MC community plays on. 1.12.2, 37.5% play on that. 1.7.10, 7.2% play on that. And there are a ton of other versions.
That's
and they
big
take up the rest of that percentage. Yeah, I guess so. But it makes you think, like, the bugs and stuff are inhibiting people from moving to 1.14, and it's honestly ridiculous. Like, we have to downgrade our server from 1.14 to 1.13 temporarily to even be able to build because of Mojang's incompetence. And we've thought, well, why don't we just move back to 1.8 instead of avoiding this hassle, or 1.12.2? But, like, we can't do that. I mean, it's just, either way, it's just gonna, 1.12.2 is just gonna make us last a few months longer than 1.8 will.
1.12.2 has its own problems.
Yeah, and it's just like, I mean, the best decision for us is, I mean, we could either just go on 1.8, and then we could live our lifetime of maybe 6 months and then be over with the server, or we can try to maintain stuff in newer versions and then last for, hopefully, past a year, which I think we can do if we play our cards right. But I think we tried to find the best solution. Okay, so I talked with our web developer, Sofa Client, and our plugin developer, Shadow, and we just came to the solution that, well, we could have fallback servers that are in 1.8 and also have the main parts of the servers, which are 1.14. So people can play in 1.14 for some of the stuff, and they can also play in the things that they want to in 1.8. And the main thing like those is people don't want to... They'll play the original, like, Tidecraft courses, for example. They do it for nostalgia and whatnot. They really don't want the parkour to be too different, unless it's, cancer and obviously needs nerf, which, let's be fair, all of Tidecraft's courses needs nerfed. Yeah, but those should be in 1.8, which is why we'll have a fallback server for 1.8 for those. And then we'll also have, we might update them to 1.14 for those who want to try it. I'm not completely sure on that. But, and all of chat throughout these servers that are bungee corded with this, and bungee cord is just like Hypixel runs thousands of bungee cord networks, and it's just like thousands of servers that are smaller that are all connected into the main network, and that's what bungee cord does. And so we'll have like 9 or so bungee cords that allow people to connect on 1.14 or 1.8 through the various game modes.
That's pretty
and excluding the open world and stuff. But and hopefully that will satisfy people who want to play on 1.8 at least to an extent. And all of chat will be connected through these bungee cords, which should that was one of our main concerns. But like, if, for example, we were gonna do 1.8 with 1.14 for the open world or like a mega tower, but how in the world can we save someone's position in 1.8 and then in 1.14 also have their position kept so they can switch between those versions? It's impossible, and keep all their stats and whatnot. That means we'll have to have those two servers be sister servers, and they'll have to connect to each other, which means like there's a 2-second delay between that. when those react to each other, which is really annoying. I mean, I guess if it's on the same server, then I think it'd be way less than that.
Well,
but,
that's just the logistics of it. I don't really know
yeah,
how that works, but if you can't make it work, then you can't make it work.
yeah.
But if you can, then that'd be pretty epic.
Which is I hope we can, and I think it will work. I mean, they said themselves that this is probably almost 100% gonna work. You can probably just talk about this on the podcast, or like it's not really, we're not gonna announce it until we want to make another teaser or something, because we don't want to just ping someone 1 week before and then ping someone again another week before, like when we can just group them together and not annoy as many people. Because one time when we pinged everyone, someone got mad and left the server and caused a bit of an uproar, which was a bit comical. But yeah, we just learned to be a bit
so you're
down
like the
on
main
pings.
owner, but you don't code
Well,
that kind of stuff.
like it's a bit okay. So like Shadow is the founder of the project, and he like codes a lot of stuff. And I mean, there are a lot of people, like, if you really want to know how Project Omega came to be, let me tell you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Smart Fox, which was a moderator on Jump Legends, wanted to talk to Bram Veen about doing an event together. But Bram Veen, the owner of Parkour Universe, somehow misinterpreted that as joining up to make a big server. And then Jump Legends somehow went with that, and then it made Project Omega. And then you had Colorcraft and other people join. And then when I was starting Tidecraft 3.0, which was going to have the open world and some of my ideas in it, I was like, oh shoot, here's a project with a lot of people. Maybe I should try to come in there. And then I became an admin. I gave in my Tidecraft courses, and I've just slowly given my ideas. And people want to be like, oh, Seth's the true owner, like, but I really don't. Because if you think about it, like, I'm the one who spearheads all the ideas and whatnot, and like gives everyone the plans to do and kind of controls everything and regulates everything.
But you
like,
also did put a lot of money into it as well, though.
yeah,
So
I'm the one who hosts the server and stuff. But like Shadow, if we didn't have the plugin developer, none of this would be possible. Like, how in the world could we do Omega Tower without a plugin developer? And if I were to pay someone that'd at least be $500. Yet Shadow spent weeks of his time doing that for free, and he just wants to do it to, increase
yeah.
his coding knowledge and experience. And like, how in the world can I just be like, nah, you're not gonna be one of the owners, when he's the one dedicating more free time than anyone, probably just as much as me in his spare time. So I'm not just gonna deny that. So yeah, I also need I don't want to like make every decision myself, because if when I decided, hey, we should probably move to 1.14, after all the backlash, I was like, oh my god, this might have been like the first decision I really screwed up on. I don't know. And so I was really worried. Like in staff chat, I'm like, guys, I'm freaking out. I don't know. Maybe that was the wrong decision. But then we talked about it later, and we came to the conclusion that we could have fallback servers, which is what I talked about previously. But
that sounds pretty
staff
epic.
is just cancer.
I,
No, it's just cancer.
I feel like that's
I'm
a
not even
good
sure how Omega's
solution to
alive
like the
anymore.
big uproar, though.
Yeah, and I think it'll solve most people's problems. I mean, we probably would have had a 1.8 open world and Omega Tower and stuff.
Like,
but we
it's
just
basically
can't
saying
save people's positions.
it's basically saying like stuff that needs to be in 1.8 is going to be in 1.8, but like stuff that doesn't need to is just going to be in 1.14, and that'll have a lot more new features
Yeah.
that you can use and expand on.
And I'm hoping that if we have enough time, we can make a parkour client. Like, we can upgrade Shadow's parkour client. So, for example, maybe there could be just a simple button in there that would switch your versions from 1.8 to 1.14. And in 1.14, there would be
Parkour
like
client.
client-sided features. Yeah, parkour client. Shadow has already made a parkour client for 1.8. It's not like the most complete thing in the world, but it's still nice and it works. But like, we could add a lot more features, and one of those would be like being able to switch versions with just a click of a button really easily, or with like a keybind or something.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we can do something like that. And then our one of our other features would be like client-sided, like, what's the word? Like, I guess I'll just put it as fixing the animations. So in 1.14, everyone hates the snake animation. We can just have a toggle feature to where you can put that on the 1.7 animation for that. That's something we can do.
That would be pretty epic.
Yeah, and that'll solve at least some of people's problems with the animations. And really, the only thing you'll have to worry about is there is no Z-facing, which kind of sucks. But X-facing isn't as horrible as it's always been. It's kind of lenient nowadays, I find. Like, more lenient than the 1.8 X-facing is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think it's like slightly less than the X-facing in 1.8.
Yeah, but it's still kind of luck based in a sense because you kind of just have to get up to the edge and then you have to tap two back and then you have to time it to go around it. And it makes jumps a lot harder because Z facing was the standard per se of parkour, which
Yep.
it was a 50-50 chance. They were either going to choose Z facing or X facing, and they chose X facing. So what if Mojang's like, oh, we know about the parkour community, we're gonna screw up everything for them?
Bro, if only they would have made it all Z facing, no one would complain.
Yeah, I guarantee you. Like, let's make a petition to Mojang. Hey, Mojang. Wait, no. I'll be like, hey, every time someone sends an email to Mojang about changing the X facing to Z facing, I will have each of the Project Omega staff members sing All Star one time. It's gonna be great.
Bruh, big
It
bruh.
definitely won't backfire. God, imagine like 1,000 people. Imagine having to sing All Star 1,000 times. That's what, like, almost 3 minutes, 3,000 minutes. Yeah, no thanks.
Mr. Beast
I'm gonna take
style.
that back. Let's just cut that out, right?
Nope.
Okay. No. Well, what's said is said.
All right, so this is pretty cool. Omega.
Yeah. What about it?
I mean, like the builds. I've seen some of them, and they look freaking epic.
Yeah, but like people just show people things. Like on staff, like for example, if like I have a friend in real life who I know is never ever gonna like join Minecraft, it's like my best friend. I'll be like, hey, I'm working on this server. You should check it out. And when he'll just be over at my house, and I'll be like, oh, this is cool. Like, I mean, and staff members do that, and I feel like, I mean, that's not really a huge deal. And also, the same thing kind of applies to some people in the community, so I definitely think there's a lot more that people know about the server
There's
than what we
there's
think.
some secret leaks going on
Dun dun dun.
in the back
I'm gonna have to go
whatever.
spank Nexotica 50,000 times.
Hot.
Yeah, but it's just one of the other things we've done is since if you didn't know this, we have no idea who it was, but someone messaged like a few people on the public Discord. I'm not gonna say their names, but literally like they revealed the entire Project Omega open world storyline to them, all 100 ranks from the start in the forest all the way to the sky with the huge twist ending. That was pretty epic, and they just deleted their account afterwards. So when someone saw it, their account became deleted, and then like they were deleting their messages right as they saw it. It was really weird. That's what they described to me, and so I even bribed them. I said, "Hey, I'll give you a donator rank if you don't tell anyone about this." So that worked, and I also kind of said, "Hey, if you do talk about this, I'm gonna ban you." So you might not want to talk about it. And so quite a few people actually know the entire storyline, which really made me mad. And so I've thought about it, and I've rewritten the entire storyline, which took me days. And I've also shortened the 100 open world ranks into 50, but made the courses longer. Because if you think about it, like, the storyline was really dragged out over 100 ranks. And, like, imagine just doing the same thing in the forest, like doing parkour on a farm 10 times in a row. Yeah, it's not that great. It kind of gets repetitive. And it's really hard to be like, why does the player go to 7 farms? We need to find a reason. He's really, really hungry. He needs a lot of calories. Like, it doesn't really make much sense. So we've shortened it to 50 ranks, which, I mean, isn't a huge deal. Because, I mean, there's still a lot of stuff in the world that we've built up through the lore and whatnot. And we can probably add another 50 ranks at a later point in time. But so, on release, we're planning to have the 50 open world ranks. And also, release is a secret. We're not telling anyone about release. We're just going to release it, like I guess a week before we're ready to release it, after we've done all the testing. We're gonna say, hey, we're releasing in a week, and then we'll do a lot more testing.
What about the
and then we'll release
the other one, the other server?
The mini server, yes, that's in the works. So you have God Y, who I did not know was Fire Razor for the longest time, which was really weird. But they asked if they wanted to, they asked if I could host events for them. And they have these cubed events, which are like these gigantic cubes with tons of parkour in them, and they wanted to have it on an event on Omega. And I said, actually, that's perfect. We're making a mini server. And the mini server is probably going to be in 1.8. I've said 1.14, but they started building in 1.8. And we already started building our courses in 1.14, which, I mean, all we have to do is we have to transfer them to their own world and then downgrade them. And since it's only like a few chunks, it won't take the longest amount of time. But we'll probably be able to have 10 box rank ups. Like, by box rank up, I mean like a normal rank up. So like something on Jump Legends. Like just a normal course that's in a box and has a theme. We'd have like 10 of those. It's just one of our builders was like, hey, I'll build all these courses so we have some extra content to keep people, playing and interested. Because, I mean, like, worst case scenario, if we don't release for months, like, I mean, what parkour servers are going to open up? There's really nothing. So, I mean, technically speaking, we want to open up a server. I mean, I have no idea what that is. Oh, wait, no. That's Melon Gan's server, right?
Yeah.
That's just Melon Parkour. And from what he told me, he only has, like, 3 of those ranks done. And also, for some reason, like, half of our builders, well, not really, like, 2 or 3 of our builders were on there as builders. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be building there. That's one of the rules. How are you not aware? And then, like, Mainternet was an admin on there. I'm like, Mainternet, why are you an admin on here? He's like, I've told him to demote me, like, 3 times, but he hasn't. And then I confronted him about it, and then he finally demoted people who were on staff. So literally, like, half of his staff were on Omega, which caused confusion, and it was just him not wanting to demote them. Like, they had not been on the server for months, but he still kept them as an admin, and I don't know why. And then he said, oh, it's unfair because I don't have any builders now. And, I mean, technically, it does feel kind of odd because we have literally all of the good builders, pretty much, from, like, the parkour community. I mean, I guess except for the few that are on Scoville or whatnot.
How much staff do you have?
Actually, let me look at the number. Staff Discord. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
you have a
13,
lot.
14, 15, 16. Yeah, we have a lot. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. We have 35 staff members.
Bruh. It's big.
It is pretty big. That's like... What's funny is, like, half of them don't do anything, which is kind of weird.
Dark Emperor.
Like, I would demote, like... maybe. No, I would demote, like, 20 people on the staff team. But, like...
Do it. They're probably the ones leaking.
No, I know most of them aren't. Like, there's only 2 or 3 people I'm suspicious of. And we don't reveal much information to them. But, like, the people, people are busy. They have exams. Like, a lot of the people and staff are in college. And they're just about to get into summer, which is nice, which will boost progress for us. But they've been really busy with their final exams. And, of course, they have to study for that, and I get that. And you have people, like, you also have tests to do, driving tests. For example, Shadow, he was gone for a week or whatnot doing that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, people can't commit all their time, and it's like pretty much all my spare time. I'm one of the few exceptions. Like, most of Shadow's spare time and most of my spare time just goes into Omega. Like, we're the admins, and so we just put as much time as we can in there. Like, I don't know. I probably have over 1,000, maybe 1,500 hours around there is how much time I've probably put alone on the build server, not considering making music, not considering making music and like everything together. I think it probably would be somewhere in between 1,500 and 2,000 hours. And I think Shadow is probably around at least over 1,000 hours in terms of how much he's coded and stuff, like, and how much he has done. It's just like, there's so much we have to do. And it's like, I mean, I'm at the point in the project where if I don't commit all my time, like, if I don't tell people what to do, people just won't do anything. So, I mean, do I really have any other choice? And then, like, I'm already paying builders to build, like, some open world ranks because progress is behind. So, I mean, like, I'm at the point, I'm too far in, I can't pull out.
How stressful is it?
The only thing I've ever been stressed about was, actually, I've been stressed about 2 things. The second one, which is the least stressful thing out of the 2, was me worried that we wouldn't be able to check all of the boxes in Omega Tower in time, which was, it didn't happen. We weren't able to check all of them. And we got to, like, I don't know, 2/3 of the way through the beta because no one wanted to rate the boxes, and then somehow half the boxes were rated incorrectly for whatever reason. So we've had to come up with a consensus, and we're going to have to redo, like, all 5,000 anyways, because we're moving Omega Tower to 1.14 probably, which is going to be AIDS to do.
Rip.
Just like,
I made a lot of... yeah, it's fun to make boxes.
Yeah, we still haven't checked a lot of them. And the most thing I was stressed about was after I was like, yeah, we need to go with 1.14. And then people started leaving. I don't know, were there 10 to 15 people that just left the Discord because they didn't like our decision to move to 1.14? Then you had people who were like, if you don't do 1.14, we're gonna leave. You had people who said Omega is gonna die, and started like Master J's like, oh my lord, you're killing Omega, and it's like, no.
They're just trying to start something before anything's even like, they don't even know anything about it, or like
literally like easily, and I mean very easily, Project Omega is in the top 200 or 300 servers Minecraft servers that have ever had this much development put into it. Like, we've been in development for almost a full year now. Like, going on in August, late August, it'll be like a year of development time. Like, that's how long we've been working. We have like 10 times more staff than most other servers have ever had. We have twice the amount of coders that most servers ever have. Like, we have 4 developers. One of them is a God plugin creator. One of them is good in JavaScript. One of them is a God web developer, and the other one is decent at plugin development. And like, we have people who make music. We have people who specifically write the story. Like, we want everything to be perfect. Like, there is legitimately, people say Omega will die because it's 1.14, and literally we all know, like, people like AU God or Master J or I don't know, Bagels or Spicy say they're never gonna play Omega in 1.14, but I promise you they will. And actually, if they don't, I will pay them $20 if they don't join Omega whatsoever. Like, I will legitimately pay them $20. So those 4 people, if you never play Omega, I will pay you $20. I'm betting this right now. This is public. I can't go back on this. Uh-oh, I've made a mistake.
It's $80 you gotta conserve.
There's so much content and stuff that we have that, like, people, it's gonna be huge. Like, we legitimately think so. I mean, we have partnerships with huge hosting companies, and hopefully we can garner hundreds, maybe even thousands of players from that. And we have like popular YouTubers. Haha, Uber Leitzer, the best YouTuber.
Ego.
Haha. Yeah, ego boost Uber Leitzer into saying the N-word 1,000 times. And Oh. You're a not nice guy. Oh.
Don't say that. So mean. I cry.
Well, we like, if we pay YouTubers, I mean, we could also probably get like
pay YouTubers for
a few thousand,
like
just to make a video, like
advertisement.
Apparently, yeah, you can pay Preston Plays $10,000 and he'll advertise your server in one video.
That's true.
Yeah, but maybe we can be like, hey, you like parkour? Join Project Omega. It's like, hey, one of the admins is Christian, me, and you're Christian, so you must come on the server for free, right? Yeah, that's definitely not a horrible thing to say.
Wow.
No, but we really estimate that, like, we're probably gonna make the Bungie network so it can host over 1,000 people, because I guarantee you, if we advertise right, if we do our partnerships right, we can get hundreds, maybe even thousands of players. Like, that's like the parkour community we have in the Discord. We think we can probably reach maybe 200 people on release if we do it on like a weekend or something in summer.
Yeah,
that's what we've estimated. But like, if we really don't know how much these partnerships will bring, but like, we're ready. We're ready to host as much content as we want. Like, we've even discussed some weird things, like maybe having fishing in the open world. So like, you can fish for fish or shards, just as things so people can. Shards. It can be a bit more immersive, and then you can, and the shards is the currency, and you can trade the shards for cosmetics or better fishing rods, and you can do stuff like that. Like, just like we have just a bunch of small features like that. Yeah, it's pretty soothing.
It's just like a chill thing to do while you're parkouring. Take a little break.
I've been playing like Hypixel Skyblock with me and my friends, who I know. Like, for example, I know.
Oh yeah, the freaking Prismarine armor.
Yeah, we've been fishing. Like, some days we'll get on and we'll just fish for like 4 hours and we'll just talk about things. And that's enjoyable. It's calming. It's just fun. And so like that's why I had the idea to have like fishing and stuff. And so I think it'll be interesting, like how much content we have. And people say we're gonna fail and other things, but like the amount of builds in the open world alone and a bunch of other stuff, like that's enough to last us for months without dying. Like, yeah, if we do no advertising, we will last for a long time. And then I
feel like you guys have plenty of like replayable content. Like,
yeah, we just have. I specifically made Omega Tower. Like, I came up with the idea to make it so people come back each month, because it's a monthly competition and people get rewards for that. The rewards are percentage based, so like as long as you get in the top 80%, you'll get a reward, and like that'll draw people in for that competition monthly, and that alone can get in a decent amount of people to come back like every few days to play that. Then you have the open world. Of course, that's a ton of content, and of course it's expendable, because like once people get to rank 50 and they find all the hidden secrets in the world and stuff like that, I mean, of course there's an ending to it, and the staff won't be able to nearly push out as much content as the players want. Like, because, you know, people just consume content. Take it Windcraft, for example. When I was staff on Windcraft, they even had, like, a ratio of the amount of content people want compared to how much content staff produces. So Windcraft had, when I was on staff, I think 82 staff members, and their ratio was 8-1. So the demand for their content was 8 times greater than they could produce, which is insane. And, of course, everything there is volunteering, and we're paying a few people, but, like, it's just once the open world runs out, that's kind of going to be a huge oof. And if we don't have, like, if open world dies in a few months, like 2 or 3 months, and doesn't last for 5 or 6, and we don't get new players, that's pretty much, it's not a good sign. And, like, we won't even, it'll take us at least 6 months to make another open world, like the next 50 ranks if we want to, or make another, I guess, another world that we could have. Like, it's just, everything's currently riding on, like, I mean, we'll just hope we'll get lucky. And it's actually hilarious. You won't believe how many times Project Omega almost got shut down. Like 6 or 7 times I can probably think of. But then somehow something came to the rescue. Like, we were going to be like, yeah, we can't finish the open world. We're just going to release like 20 ranks in the open world and we'll be done with it. And then our best builder, who is like one of the best builders in the world, who we somehow got on our build team. And his name is Reynos, like _Reynos. You can look him up on Twitter and whatnot. And that most recent thing in the teasers with that dragon, that was made by like him and one of his friends. And he's a really, really good builder. And he just randomly came back out of nowhere, disappeared for months. He just appeared and he said, hey, I'll help you guys. And that motivated so many people to build. Like, we got an additional 10 open world ranks in less than a month. It took us just a few weeks to do that, which was insane. And it's like, Omega might have died when, like, Sofa Client left. We were scared because we wouldn't have any web development going on. Like, we wouldn't have a website or anything or any place like that to advertise. And then he came back recently, which is great. Like, I thought about quitting once because everything was horrible. When Bram Veen left, and like, all this drama spread with people leaking and everything, what people thought about just leaving. And, like, even quite a few people left, like Cheese Papa. He got tired of all the drama, and he just left. And he said never to ever talk to him ever again. That's how insane Cheese Papa was. And it's just like, somehow we've managed to draw all the right cards. We've somehow managed to get people interested in partnering with us. We've somehow managed to get popular YouTubers interested in our server. And, like, it's just, everything's going right for us. And I think we're at the point now where even if some bad stuff happens, we'll be able to open. Like,
hell yeah.
I guarantee you. Just give us like a month or a few months and we'll definitely release. And I think it's going to be huge and people will love it.
Dude, I'm gonna love it. This is gonna be great. I'm like,
you're gonna hate it.
I feel like I'm one of the people that's like most excited about it. Like, for like in the parkour community at least. I don't know. I hate Jumpcraft and I hate like Linkcraft and I hate everything. But Project Omega sounds freaking awesome. Plus, when I quit parkour for like 3 months and I came back, I was just like, oh, there's Project Omega. All right, there's reason to come back.
Oh.
All right, so
I feel like a lot of people came back for it, which was
yeah. There's gonna be like
people, the better.
A bunch of people like Happy Heart and like I don't know.
I mean, I even DM'd Happy Heart once. I'm like, hey, this server is opening. Maybe you want to come. Never got a response. So you know, I don't know how.
Well, I don't know. I don't really know like who exactly is gonna join. All I know is a lot of people are joining.
Oh, Cairo's coming. We're gonna get Cairo. That's our ultimate goal. That's our
Get the quad Neo in there.
Yeah. Only he can do it.
All right. Well, this is good talk. Good talk. This is the end of podcast episode 469. All right. Good talking to you.
Bye, babe.
See ya.
I'll see ya. No homo.